Man, just waiting to see if anybody gonna come in. Just waiting, just waiting, just waiting, just waiting. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. I know nobody's not in here right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. But Tennessee got embarrassed. Tennessee got cooked. Tennessee, we got punked. We got punked in the second half. We just got punked. There's no way around it. We got punked. Diego Pavia had his way. And the reason I'm not calling him poverty, because I got to put respect on his name. He showed up in the second half and he literally willed Vanderbilt to a win. He literally did. No question whatsoever. I'm talking about no question whatsoever. He literally took the game in his own hands and he showed out. And you know what? He must have heard me talking about him at the half or something. Because I was literally calling him poverty. He didn't show up. He was looking like who I thought he was. And he came in that second half and he did whatever he wanted to do. Yes, this was the most embarrassing loss we've had in a while. Literally 582 yards. And then you got to look at it like this. Pavia had over 400 yards. He had more total offense than our offense. That's what we do. We do that. We're supposed to do that. And we didn't. We definitely came in the sweep. I said it during my halftime report. I said the defense needs to continue to show up, play how you were playing in the first half, and the offense just continue what they're doing, do what they were doing or whatnot. Man, defense, I don't know what was the speech at the half? What was the speech? I'm trying to figure that out. What was the speech at the half? Sure hell wasn't stopping Fabio. It wasn't that at all. This was senior day. Vanderbilt won 10 games for the first time in program history, and it happened on our expense. It happened on our field. We allowed that to happen. They literally outscored us 24-3 in the second half. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. And then I had this feeling. I knew when Mike Matthews dropped that pass, I had a feeling it was a wrap. That was our chance. I haven't even heard of those rumors about him going to Penn State. I hope not. I hope that's not true. And I hope that if it is true, I hope that's not the case. Because that'll be golly. I don't know. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I think for us, if I want to take it back to the very beginning of the season, especially during the off season, we looked at it where, when Nico left and he went to UCLA and we brought in Joey Aguilar, and the whole thing was, well, what is Joey going to look like? We saw his stats from Appalachian State. We didn't know how quickly he could adapt to the offense, with him coming in as late as he did. On top of that, we had question marks on the offensive line. We had question marks in regards to the skill players, at wide receiver position. Running back, I never had really a worry about it whatsoever. And then, of course, the defense. And then we lost Jamal McCoy. We lost Ricky Gibson at the beginning of the season against Syracuse. We just had a lot of injuries on the back, on the defensive end. But at the same time, we didn't have those dogs that we had, last year. And, my prediction, at one point I did a video where I was like, man, we're going 11-1, right? Just bullshit, whatever. But at the same time, me being a Tennessee fan, I just had to have that confidence, like we can do that. Were there games that we could have easily been right now finishing 11-1? Yes. Except for this one. This shit wasn't even close. This was a true beatdown by the Vanderbilt Commodores. Damn. Hey, real talk. I don't know how it affect recruiting, to be honest. I really don't. Um, I know Celeste Moya, I know he went to the Michigan game and Michigan got mollywopped, but he was there on an official visit with Michigan. Of course, we all know about Legend Bay, committing flipping Ohio State, but I've been hearing that they're trying to flip him back. But hell, this showing right here and what they did in Michigan, man, I don't even think that's even going to take. That's not even going to matter. I think he sticks with Ohio State. I don't think you can try all you want, and then you got to look at it like this: early signing period is next week, literally next week. So we got to try our best to keep these guys in the fold. We had a couple of those guys here today, and they came and they saw, they saw this embarrassment. We're living in an age now where how far does if it's not about NIL, how far is your loyalty to that coaching staff that has recruited you when you see what you see on the field? I always felt like that really shouldn't determine, um, that should determine where you want to go and maybe have a change of mind or whatnot. But right now it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Um, so we just gonna have to figure it out some way somehow. I mean, 8-4. There were a lot of people at the beginning of the season that felt like that was going to be the ceiling. 8-4, 9-3 was a possibility. I think what happened was when we saw what we saw with Joey Aguilar in the Syracuse game and what we saw in the Georgia game, we had a different mindset after that. We had a different approach. We were like, okay, Tennessee can be good. Problem was the defense didn't the defense let us down in most of those games. The offense was doing what they were doing, and I always had a feeling that one day we were going to run into a team where the offense can only do so much, and the defense is just going to just let it get out of hand. And that was the Bama game. That was the game where when we weren't able to capitalize on things on offense, and we made crucial turnovers during that game. Understand that defense gave up two 90-plus yard um, 90-plus yard possessions. Especially a 3rd and 2 that you give up thinking it's 3rd and 10 or something, and you drop your linebackers back, and all my man do is just come around the corner and boom, there it is. Bad tackling that game. And that's when I was like, okay, we're in trouble. But I don't know, man. How do y'all feel about this game? How do y'all even feel about the season, really? Because is the season? Do y'all feel like that this season was a disappointment? With everything that happened during the off season, do you feel like do you feel like 8-4 was the ceiling? When you first thought about what the record could be, at this time. That's my question. Yeah, I had to go live, man. No, I remember, I said a while back, I said, well, if I get to 500 subscribers, I'll go ahead and, go live, and, I had some other stuff planned. But after this last game of the season and this embarrassing loss, no, I had to go live tonight. And usually, I'm watching, another podcast, when the game ends. But this time I was like, no, I gotta have this one. I gotta do this one myself. See, I feel like we're underachieved in meaningful games, overachieved in meaningless games. Agreed. I agree with that. I agree with that. Even, for instance, today, and I don't know if it was the way Vanderbilt was playing their defense or not, but remember last week against Florida, we wasn't even the offense that we played today. That wasn't the offense last week, and I don't know if that was the case of Vanderbilt's defense or maybe what we saw, on offense. I don't know, but we did not have. There were no drag routes whatsoever. There were none at all. It's like we just got stagnant on offense once again. We went away from what worked. We went away from what worked when we played Syracuse. We went away with what worked, with what worked when we played Florida, and other teams. We just went away with it. It's like the games that we lost, honestly, those are the games where we were just stagnant on offense. We didn't try nothing. We didn't change up nothing. We didn't do anything, that can, that can make the defense honest. We didn't do none of that. But then we play against these mediocres. Oh, we do everything. Oh, we just. I said that. What was that last week against Florida? I said, damn, we emptied the toolbox. Well, shit, today hell, the toolbox was still in the closet. It didn't even make it out of the closet. Hell, let alone opened. So a lot of things didn't go our way. I'm trying not to burn the barn down, though. I'm just hoping we get things straightened out. Yeah, I understand, Rhonda. I get it. I get it. Me too. Me too. I mean, I got to a point where you know how sometimes when things just go a certain way, you don't even be upset about it. You just sit back, drink your water, look on your phone, whatever the hell going on there. You just be like, yeah, yeah, it is what it is. But the one thing I didn't want was to let Diego Pavia beat us. And he did. He beat us. He talked all that junk during the off season. He talked all that junk during the season and this week, and he backed up everything that he talked about. That's the worst part. Yeah, this was a dream year. Yeah, this is one of those years where you felt like, with everything that happened during the off season, even the stuff that was happening during the season, in regards to the inner workings of the team, you felt like, hey, we might do something special. Um, as I talked about, the only time I talked about in one video where I was saying that, Heupel never truly had a quarterback that started, back to back seasons, but I mentioned Hendon Hooker. And, even though he didn't actually start the Pittsburgh game, he finished the Pittsburgh game. And, there it is. I mean? And we saw how that went the second year, when he started. And that's just one of those things where we just can't have, we can't be blessed with having a quarterback that's with us, 2, 3 years in a row that really knows, that really implements that offense, that really knows, what happens during the game and what decisions they can make that they've seen before. Like what my man was saying on the telecast, he was talking about how, when you have another quarterback, when you have a quarterback that's been in that system, 2 or 3 years, he kind of knows what to look for during the game and not to make that mistake that he may have done the year before, which makes plenty of sense. So I don't know. Yeah, that's true too. About the refs. Yeah, well, not the refs. Yeah, we were having those type of losses during the Jones and Pruitt years. That too. It's like we can't get out of our way. Somehow, some way, we find a way. You look at these other teams. You look at the Georgias. You look at the Bamas. Even though they don't look like the Georgia of old in previous years, they find a way to win. They make the plays that need to be made. Just like with Bama. I didn't even think Bama would be in the position that they're in this year with Ty Simpson at quarterback, and they're right there in it. All they got to do is win, and they're in. Did we think they were going to be that type of team at the beginning of the season? I didn't, especially after that Florida State game. Especially after that Florida State game. But for some reason, with the Volunteers, and then let me talk about the Volunteers. Then with the Volunteers, it seems that we will win a game that we figure we can win, but then we always find a way to lose a game that we're supposed to win. That Oklahoma loss wasn't even supposed to happen whatsoever. The momentum was on our side, and I always felt like, and I'm still feel like that to this day, when Joey Aguilar had Mike Matthews on the slant and David Sanders missed his assignment, that was the turning point of that game. And it was early. It was early. But understand, we had them on the ropes. You score that touchdown, we win the game. Why I say that? Because how do we lose? 33-27. There's your difference right there. We'd have won the game. It's a game of inches. They talk about it all the time. And that was it. Do I think hype has reached its ceiling? I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know. That's a great question. I think if we had a defense this year, if we had, and that's another thing, we can't never have, we always have either or. We can't have it at the same time. Either the offense is going to be great, the defense is going to give up a lot of points, or either the defense is going to be great and the offense can barely score. We can't have offenses on point, defenses on point. Because if the defense was doing their job this year, trust me, we'll be in the college football playoffs and probably playing for an SEC championship. No question. There's no way that you lead in the SEC and in the FBS in scoring, in total offense, and you sitting here at 8-4. There should be no reason for that. No reason for that. I look at Ohio State. Yeah, they'll struggle in the first half, and then they'll come out in the second half, and then their offense start clicking. But one thing they always have is that defense that keeps them in those games until the offense wakes up. That's where we at. That roughing the passer call to me, turn this game to Vandy. I don't know. It could have, I don't know. I probably missed that one. I think I probably was out there putting my tires in my car at the time and came back in. And that might have been the drive that I missed, actually, because there was one drive I missed. And I was like, dang, what happened? But, you know, but yeah, that was I feel like that might have that was the game changer. Them scoring at the end of the half and then coming out in the first half and scoring again, that was a turning point as well. Momentum was definitely on their side because at that point we just stalled out, really. But in regards to him reaching his ceiling, Hyper may just be who he is. We're not sure. Who it's the Tennessee man. It's just Tennessee. It's the Tennessee Volunteers. We can't, like I said, we can't get our own way. Even during it's like we haven't been right since the former years. Even towards the end of the former years, I always felt like he shouldn't have got fired, but hell, he did. But then, Mike Hamilton gets Lane Kiffin and look at Lane Kiffin again. Hell, he's trying to decide on where he needs to go. And then we had Derek Dooley, Mr. Orange Pants. That didn't turn out well. And then we had Butch Jones. And the thing about Butch Jones is I know a lot of people give him a lot of crap. It was the talent. The talent itself won those games, but it was the coaching that lost them games too. You know what I mean? Definitely against Florida them years. Golly, Hail Mary. And then we was up that one year we was up 27-14, if I'm not mistaken. And then they scored 2 touchdowns and won the game because the last touchdown they got, the defense just off their angle. Like we've had those moments. We have those moments. So I don't know what it's going to take to get us right. To be honest, I don't know what it's going to take. We're getting the players. Do we need more? Do we need to continue to change up the scheme? Or does that scheme even work? Does it even work anymore? Has Josh Heupel's offense reached its peak? The way he calls the plays, has that reached his peak? That's the question. Has that offense ran its course? Because we see other teams, have a variation of that offense, but they do other things with that offense too. Look at Vandy. They run motion. They get you out of your spots. And it works. They run a lot of motion. That's why Bama had a lot of trouble with Vandy, last year when they lost. Those motion plays. Those motion plays make a difference. Because you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know where the play is coming from. You don't know who's going to get the ball. The next thing you know, your eyes get caught in the backfield and then dude wide open in the back end. So, has the offense ran its course? Now, I thought at the beginning of this season I saw the changes that were made schematically, with Heupel, because he knew that offense wasn't going to continue to work what he was running the last 2 years. But then he went away from it. That's what I never could understand about his coaching sometimes, and the plays that were being called. It was like you'll use these plays in one game, and then you'll go away with it in the next game, and then you'll use it 2-3 games down the road, and then whatever we saw 2-3 games before, you don't use it again. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. We are the youngest team in the SEC. Yeah, I mean we are. We're pretty young. Um, we'll just have to see. But yeah, they're Inlander. I think that's how you say it. I never always try to pronounce it, man. But we definitely got to win some big games to get over the hump moving forward. We definitely have to, win some big games. What does it look like last year? No, next year, excuse me. What is it going to look like next year? If Joey Aguilar doesn't get the extra year, what we got Faison Brandon coming in. We got, we still have George McIntyre. I've been hearing Jake Merklinger is going to leave. I've been hearing that for a couple of weeks now, probably for about a month and a half. That there's no question he's out the door. What happens? Do we go out there and get another veteran quarterback and have him learn the offense? Or do we run with George? What are we doing? Are our skill players coming back? Because understand, Mike Matthews could come back. I mean, hopefully he comes back. Staley comes back. Brazel has another year. He could come back. So we'll have that. We'll have the wide receivers down pat. Then you have the running backs. Deshaun Bishop will be back. Peyton Lewis will be back. We got DeJuan Morris. He'll be there, and then of course Justin Baker. So and then our offensive line. We're pretty straight right there. If everybody comes back intact offensively, we shouldn't have any issues. It just depends on the quarterback and who we're going to have. Are we going to go with what we have now, or are we going to go out there and get a veteran to try to, do what Joey Aguilar did, or any other quarterback that we may have gotten from the portal? We've had success with some success. Defensively, does Jamard McCoy come back? Does he come back, or does he go to the league? Does he come back? And if he does come back, is it because he felt like, there's still something left that needs to be finished? Unfinished business. Ricky Gibson, does he come back? We know at one point he played with the portal a little bit last year. Will he come back? Colton Hood, will he stay? Or will he leave or go to the league? There's a lot of question marks that are going to happen during this offseason. A lot of question marks. That is the way of the world now in college football. We're not back in the day when we knew who was coming back. Nobody was transferring. We knew who our roster was. We knew that we had 3-4 years of the roster. Everybody stayed. Everybody waited their turn. That's not it anymore. It is a business. This is what it is. There is no there. Are there some loyalty? Are there recruits that stay because of the brand and of the coaching staff? Yes, but it's way less than what it used to be. Way less. And then you gotta look at Lane Kiffin. What is he going to decide? Is he going to decide to stay in Ole Miss or go to LSU? And then depending on where he goes, you gotta look at who's going to transfer out of there, and are they worthy, for us to go out and try to get them, here at Tennessee. A lot of question marks, man. I thought this year would have been a special year. It was looking like that in the beginning of the season. Yeah, I hope Gibson stays. Yeah, Hood to the NFL. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We're definitely going to find out who's going to be playing in the bowl game or who's not going to be playing in the bowl game, because I'm pretty sure we're going down to Orlando somewhere. You know what I mean? Or hell, we might be in Nashville, Music City Bowl. Hell, who knows at this point? Who knows? We know this for a fact. Joey will play. We know he'll be there. So, but this is 45-24. I'm keep looking at the score. I'm also sitting here watching Survivor Series as well. Oh yeah, and I also went to what's called WrestleCade. Yeah, I went to go see Sting for the last time. This is going to be his last time in the paint, so I had to go, do a picture with the Stinger. If y'all familiar with old Sting, yeah, he's no longer going to be in the paint anymore after this. He'll still do his meet and greets, but shit, he's going to look like a regular guy, But so that was pretty cool. I went up there today and met a lot of wrestlers. A lot of old school wrestlers were up there, man, like Nikita Koloff, and of course, the Boogie Woogie Man was up there, and shoot, Mr. Hughes, the Big Cat, Mr. Hughes, the Devon Dudley, Shane Douglas, Francine, some of the ECW guys were there. Old ECW guys were there, man. But I will say this, and I know I'm getting off subject. They always say, man, don't ever meet your heroes. That is so true. When you go to these meet and greets and you see how much wrestling has broke down their bodies compared to what we used to see them as, man, they can get real sad, real quick. I remember seeing Brutus the Barber Beefcake last year, and I just felt bad for him. Just the way he looked. He just looked beat down, man. Jake the Snake Roberts, he was there. He just your favorites, man. Your heroes as a child, man, as a kid. They don't look too good, man. It didn't do them justice, what I mean, to put their bodies through what they went through. But they did it for the love of the sport. They did it for us fans. So you gotta only do is but respect it. You know what I'm saying? Give them the respect that they deserve, and speak to them. Hey, how's it going? Take pictures with them and all that stuff, man. But yeah, WrestleCade, if you're a big wrestling fan, they do it every year around this Thanksgiving weekend. They do it up in Winston-Salem at the Benton Convention Center. It's a great, man. It's great. But anyway, back to our Tennessee Volunteers, man. So I just wanted to come on here live, man. I wanted to just kind of, get my frustrations out. Of course, I'm gonna drop a post game, video tomorrow. Of course, for all y'all that know, Mental Monday will definitely be a Mental Monday this Monday. Oh yeah, Randy Savage, yeah. Oh yeah, can you dig it? I can't do the voice. I tried, but yeah, yeah, we definitely need to do this again, man. I really kind of like the live. Like I said, I was trying to wait until get 500 subscribers and then go live. Like I'm sitting at 482 right now. But you know what? I love doing what I'm doing. It ain't about the numbers. It ain't about how many people you get. Yeah, I know monetization comes and all that stuff, but I don't care about all that. All I care about is putting out a product that is great for everyone here that comes by and watches my videos, and and just enjoy whatever what I bring to the table. Yeah, I'm not an expert. You know what I mean? I didn't go to school to, be a sports broadcaster or anything like that, man. I'm just doing it. I'm just being me. That's it. That's all I can be. And maybe I will get better at it and get great at it. And then at that point you'll be like, hell, I ain't had to go to school for that. I just learned and did my research, and try to just, try to provide as much of great information to everyone that tunes in. Um, but yeah, Mental Mondays, I will be doing that on Monday. I'll also probably talk about, in regards to off season, and what needs to change, and or what can we do better, things of that nature. So it's gonna be a lot of things I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be talking about some other sports as well. NFL, I'm a big Commanders fan. You know how that looks. It's terrible. Um, so that's what it is right now. But hey, everyone that was on here now, I appreciate y'all for the support. Always love it when y'all comment and have a lot of things to say, and sometimes get stuff off your chest. But yeah, man. But I appreciate y'all. Um, yeah, I know, right? On the basketball. Yeah, that's next. Yeah, so yeah, definitely gonna talk about that now. What a heartbreak loss to Kansas. We go out there and we get our revenge against Houston, and then we turn right around and drop the ball against Kansas. So, sitting at 7-1, I think we got Syracuse coming up next. So hopefully we can take care of business, move to 8-1. I do like this team. I like the way they play. I like the way they fight. You know, they just ran into a speed bump. But until next time, you know who I am. It's your boy Blackout Jones. You know where we are. This is Just Shooting Sports. And hey, if somebody that you know wants to, listen to just an old guy like me, send them my way. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. But until then, you know what it is. When I talk about that power T right there, and the one wrong way. The one beside me, you know. Hey, it's all go big orange and go Vols.